Hey everybody, this is Mr. Beckstrom, and I had a few questions about this question from the quiz here, from quiz 2. And it says, suppose f of x approaches 200 and g of x approaches 0, with g of x being greater than 0 as x approaches 2. Determine the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x over g of x. So this is kind of a conceptual question to see if you really understand the idea of a limit here. So let me kind of write this out and then tell you a couple of different ways that you can take a look at this and solve this. So we have x approaching the value of 2 of some function f of x over some function g of x, right? So it's saying as x gets closer and closer to 2, that f of x is getting closer and closer to 200, and g of x is getting closer and closer to 0, with g of x staying positive. So that means it's getting really close, like 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, getting closer and closer to 0, but staying positive. So we're not going to be looking at like negative 0.01 because g of x, once again, stays positive here. So if you try to put this into your calculator, of course you're going to get an error message because we can't divide by 0. But we can divide by values that are really close to 0 and really close to 200 without doing that. So let's just take a look at a few. Let's start with, now remember, the bottom stays positive. So we're not going to be looking at values from the left side of 0. So if we do like 200, or let's do 199 divided by 1. And we'll see that we get like 199. Let's get even closer to 200 and even closer to 0. So let's do 199.99 or 0.9 divided by, and something even closer to 0 from 1, so divided by 0.1 and see what we get. And look, we get a much larger value. Now let's get even closer. And it doesn't matter if you do numbers to the left or right of 200. You'll still get the same large values. So you could also do 201 and 200.1 and those types. Let's do like 199.99999. So something super duper close to 200, and then we're going to divide by something super close to 0, but that's positive. So something like that. And notice we get a huge number. This number here is approaching positive infinity. So that's what this would be. So that would be equal to positive infinity. Now, if they didn't put this little clause in here that g of x had to be greater than 0, well, then we're going to get different answers depending on whether or not we're using positive values for g of x or negative values for g of x. So then from one direction, from the right side, we'd be approaching positive infinity, and from the left side, we'd be approaching negative infinity, and therefore the limit would not exist. That's why they put this little caveat or restriction up here. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.